Welcome, my name is Dokeaz and this is my Among Us tier list for my friends. This template was stolen from Yeti Apocalypse. Okay, so before we get into rating the people, there are a couple things I should point out. The first one being that there will be two sections or two ways that the people in question will be rated on. The first one being town and the second one being imposter. Now, the ratings are on a scale from 1 to 10 and 1 to 5 for this group is considered bad. Okay, so another thing, there are 5 subsections in each category, which is town and imposter. There are 5 subsections for town and 5 for imposter. Okay, so now that I've said that and it's been established, let's go over the specifics of each subsection. Now, the first one for town is dependability. Does the crewmate in question do tasks quickly? Are they alone? Because you don't want to be alone in case you die. And essentially, do they just play safely? The second one is reads. How often does the crewmate identify the imposter, and how quickly do they do it? This category also includes soul reads, which is calling people out immediately based off movement or just gut feeling. Now, this third category is town smarts. It's the biggest one, or not the biggest one, but it has the most kind of elements to it. It includes knowing taskbars, which means knowing if people are faking tasks and whatnot, calling emergency meetings at the right times, pre-jacking sabotages, watching admin table cameras and door logs to ensure that nobody's acting suspicious, following people and making sure other people acknowledges that you're following someone else, dying in good places to make sure people stumble across your body, and remembering callouts from dead crewmates. Now, the fourth section is the ability to clutch. Can the crewmate vote the imposter out correctly in a 2v1 or 3v1, etc. Then the last subsection for town is ability to persuade. Can you get people to vote with you? Do you provide good information to the discussion and lead the discussion so that you can actually come to a conclusion, a consensus, if you will? So that's all of the subsections for town, so let's hop into imposter subsections. The first one being smart kills. It's pretty much self-explanatory. Can you kill without getting walked in on? Can you use vents and sabotages to ensure that nobody sees you kill? So the next one is lying and faking tasks. So this one is knowing the right time to leave and making sure the bar moves up when you leave a task and ensuring that you don't get called out for faking a task by a crew. Sabotage and venting is the next subsection, and this is knowing when to call sabotages and which ones in order to divert attention and to give you an opportunity to kill. It also is venting, so if you can use vents efficiently without getting caught, that's a big boost to your imposter rating. Next one is persuasion, and this is the ability to pull town votes, force misinformation / chaos between the crew, and redirect attention from yourself if there is any on you. This also includes the ability to get a third imposter on your side, which would really help you win. Alright, the last subsection is the ability to clutch, and it's essentially the same as the crewmate one. Can you win a 2v1, 3v1, etc.? Okay, so we've finished establishing all these subsections. Let's head into the actual rating of people. The first one being Ashley. So for Ashley, I feel like her dependability, she gets tasks done relatively quickly, but she is often dead alone, and that's not very safe, so I'll give her an 8. Actually, scratch that, 7. Her reads, she hardly calls anybody out. She goes with the crowd, although when she does call people out, it's usually right. So I'll give her a 4 right now. Town smarts, she's relatively new to the game, so she doesn't really know when to call meetings every time. Like, she'll call meetings when there's only one dead or something. On vitals, on pull lists, which isn't very smart, but she's trying. I'll give her a 5. Ability to clutch. Whenever she's in a clutch situation, she usually wins, but she usually isn't in a clutch situation, so she dies pretty early. But I'll give her a 7. Ability to persuade. Again, she doesn't really say much. She doesn't really call anybody out and whatnot, so I'll have to give her a 4 for that again. Her imposter game, on the other hand, is a bit better than her crew game. So for kills, she actually does get walked in on a couple times. She has been walked in on a couple times, so I'll give her a 4 for that. But her lying and faking tasks, again, she's new to the game. She can't really fake tasks well without getting caught, so I'll give her 4 again. Her sabotages are usually pretty good, and her venting, I feel like she doesn't really know. She doesn't really vent well, I think, so I'll give her a 6 right now. Her sabotages are good. Persuasion, nobody really knows when she's imposter. Nobody really suspects her, which is really good. Since she's redirecting attention the whole time, basically. But she's also never able to get like a third imposter or whatnot. Or she's usually actually is able to get a third imposter, which is also really good. I'll give her a 9 for that. The ability to clutch. Oops, that's not meant to be there. Okay. 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 She's usually also, again, never in a clutch situation, because when she's imposter, she's usually called out pretty early, or she wins. So it's kind of like middle. There's not really a middle ground here. I guess I'll give her a 6 for now. Okay, so this is how it will look like. Her imposter rating, again, it's better than her town rating, although by a small margin. If she didn't get walked in on all the time, or knew how to fake tasks better, she would be a lot better an imposter. So let's move on to Austin. His dependability. He does tasks relatively quickly, and he's usually with someone, so I'll give him a 7 again. 8, actually. His reads, he calls out a lot more people than Ashley for sure, but sometimes they're also wrong. I'll give him a 6. Town smarts. He knows what to do at the right times. 7, pretty self-explanatory. I mean, there's a few things he could do better, like again, look for the body on pull lists instead of calling a button when there's only one dead body. Okay, so the ability to clutch. Yeah, he wins basically every time he's in a clutch situation if he's crew. So I'll give him a 9 for that. Ability to persuade. People vote with him. He doesn't really lead the discussion though. The problem is he's usually stuck on one person in a discussion rather than looking for other people to call out. So I'll give him a 7 for that. Smart kills. He doesn't get walked in a lot. Actually, I don't think he's ever been walked in on. I'll give him an 8 for that. His kills are pretty good. His sabotages are pretty good too. But lying and faking tasks. I don't think I've ever caught him faking a task. Or at least I haven't noticed. So I'm assuming he's pretty good at that. I'll give him an 8 again. He probably has been caught though before. But sabotages and venting, again, his sabotages are pretty good. His venting, on the other hand, is not always great. Like on Mira HQ, he'll vent from like the top to the bottom and whatnot, making it very obvious that he wasn't there before. I'll give him a 7 for that category. His persuasion, yeah, okay. Whenever someone suspects him, he can't misdirect attention. He doesn't get a third imposter usually. I'll give him a 6 for that. His ability to clutch. Now when it's a 2v3, 2v1, 3v1 situation, it's very hard to win, but even so, I feel like he squeaks out a victory occasionally, but that's very rare, so I'll give him a 6 with Ashley again. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, his talent and imposter rating are both better than Ashley, I think. Just because he's been playing more and has more game sense and things like that. Okay, let's move on to Ben. His dependability. He does tasks really quickly, so that's a plus. But doing tasks quickly again, that also means you're alone for a long time. And that's why he's been killed really quickly in the beginning. I'll give him an 8 with Austin. His reads, he doesn't call out people as much as Austin, but they're usually right. They're more right than Austin most of the time. I'll give him a 7. He does call out a lot more people than Ashley though. Town smarts. He's pretty much the same as Austin. I mean, he knows how to play the game. There's just a few things he can do better. Ability to clutch. I think he's less clutch than Austin. Sometimes he votes wrong or just doesn't do the right thing. But most of the time he's really solid though. 7 with Ashley. That makes sense. Ability to persuade. He calls out people more than Ashley and gets people to vote with him. I'll give him a 7 again. Actually, 8. 8. He's better than Austin. No. 7. 7. He's the same as Austin for this one. Let's see here. Smart kills. He actually has been walked in on like once or twice, I think, but that was in the beginning. I think recently he hasn't been walked in on, and his kills have been pretty good. I'll give him an 8 for that. Lying and faking tasks. Yeah, he's not good at lying and it's usually pretty obvious when he lies and when he fakes tasks, for me at least. So I'll give him a 6. Actually, 5. Yeah, 6. Yeah, I'm actually better than Ashley, though, at faking tasks. Sabotages and venting. His sabotages and vents are better than Austin's, I think. So it'll be an 8 for that category. Persuasion. I mean, it's kind of the same deal. I guess. I mean, he gets called out a lot, and sometimes he's able to redirect attention, but he's not. He's also not able to get a third imposter. I think he's a little better than Austin at that though, so I'll give him a 7. His ability to clutch. When he's imposter, let's see. When he's imposter and he's a 2v1, yeah, he never wins. He never wins in the 2v1 or 3v1. So it's pretty low. I'd give it 5. Let's see if it matches up to Austin. Yeah, I feel like Austin is a better imposter than Ben. Town rating maybe could be tied, but overall I feel like that's a pretty good rating for Ben anyway. Caden. The problem with Caden, like he does tasks, I'm pretty sure quickly, but he also dies in really bad places. And that's actually the same problem for Ben. Ben also dies in really bad places. So people aren't able to find his body most of the time. But I'll give Caden's dependability a 7. His reads. I feel like Caden, like, when someone calls him out, he starts to suspect them rather than like looking at other people to suspect. I feel like his reads are a little weaker, but I guess it's a 5 for now. Town smarts. I mean, he doesn't really like take the initiative to follow people, or again, he doesn't die in good places and stuff like that. I feel like he's a little worse than Austin and Ben at 6, but better than Ashley for town smarts. Ability to clutch. Okay, he's yeah. I mean, sometimes he just kind of throws. Like the other time he played, it was on Polis. It was Francisco, Caden, Ethan, and me. I was the imposter. I was able to kill Francisco and Caden, because Caden didn't go back to check for Francisco's body. Even though the body was really close to him. His ability to clutch is probably the worst out of all of them I've rated so far. I'll give him a 5. His ability to persuade, he's actually not bad at getting people to vote with him. The problem is sometimes he'll provide bad information and be the third imposter. But I mean, he usually is able to get people to vote with him if he's really confident. I'll give him a 6. All right. His imposter game is definitely better than his town game though, for sure. His kills are pretty smart. He doesn't get caught like at all. I think that's another 8. Faking tasks, not as good. I mean, he's probably about the same as Ben for faking tasks. He's not as good as Austin at faking tasks though. Sabotages and venting. Sometimes his sabotages actually hinder his teammate, but his venting skills are really good, and his sabotages are beneficial for himself. So that's another 7. His persuasion. I mean, he's never able to redirect attention. He can't get a third imposter either. I mean, when he's imposter and people suspect him, it's basically over for him anyway. The only defense he has at the end is yelling and getting upset. That's probably like a 6. Yeah, 6. That's same for Austin. Austin also just kind of gives up when people suspect him. Anyway, ability to clutch. Um, yeah, it's the same thing for Ben. When he's in a 2v1 3v1 situation, he can't clutch it out. 5. All right. Let's see here. His imposter. Yep, it's definitely better than his crewmate for sure. I feel like Caden's rating is pretty accurate. All right, let's go to Collins now. Collins dependability. Let's see. Uh, basically everybody but myself and maybe Robert and couple other people. Their dependability will be pretty high since they do tasks quickly. The problem is that a lot of them die alone in really secluded areas. So yeah. So Colin, let's start with Colin. 8 dependability, pretty good. Dies in bad places, whatever the norm. Reads are a little bad. He calls out the wrong people. Um, but some, I mean, most of the time he's wrong. But he also calls out. He also doesn't call out people that much. So I'll give him a. Actually, that's really bad. Maybe like a 5. No. No, actually, sometimes he's right. I feel like 5 is fine. Yeah. Sometimes he's right when in his callouts. Town smarts. His town smarts are pretty good. I mean, he can't tell when people fake tasks, but he calls emergency meetings at the right time and dies in good places and remembers callouts. I'm pretty sure. So that's an 8. Ability to clutch. Yeah, he clutches basically all the time. I'll give him a 8 again. No, 7. Ability to persuade. He can't. Yeah, he does get people to vote with him, but sometimes his information is bad. It's like just bad. But he's a pretty good crew. I'll give him a 7. Let's see, crewmate. He actually might be on the same level as Ben right now for town. Not sure though. I'll leave it as it is. Okay, so let's move on to imposter for Colin. His kills. He gets kills. His kills are alright. I mean, they're good. I mean, nobody sees them and whatnot. I feel like the standard for kills is pretty much 8. Everybody pretty much gets an 8. Lying is probably 7. Faking tasks. I mean, he fakes tasks better than Kaden and Ben for sure, but it's also not good enough to the point where he isn't called out at any point. Sabotages. His sabotages hinder his opponent or his teammate like a lot of times actually, so that's not good. His venting is all right. I'll give him he's probably like a 6.5, but I'll give him a 6 just cuz. His persuasion, the problem with Colin is that when confirmed ejects are turned off, he still gives it away that he's the imposter, which really doesn't help his teammate. So I'll give him another 6. Actually, I feel like sabotage and venting is a 7. Ability to clutch, again, he pretty much gives up if someone suspects him and like they have some evidence. He has to still keep fighting. That's his problem, and he doesn't. Again, another 5. Let's see. Let's compare. He's definitely worse than Austin and Ben at imposter, but better than Kaden and Ashley, I think. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, Connor. Let's move to Connor. I'm gonna have to go quicker. It's already been like 19 minutes. Okay, Connor. Connor dependability. He does. I feel like he dies early most of the time, because he's alone. I'll give him a 6. He also doesn't do tasks very quickly, but his reads aren't bad. He gets them right most of the time, but he just doesn't call him out very often. Again, same problem with Ashley. Town smarts 5, dies in terrible places, dude, like absolutely terrible. But also just doesn't press the button when we need it. Doesn't look for. Basically, I feel like I'm the only one that notices when people fake tasks, but I just might be wrong, and maybe I'm just the only one that calls it out. But that's what I feel like. Clutch. He actually has thrown a couple times. But it's not like terribly thrown. There's a reason for why he throws, I guess. 7. Ability to persuade people. Since he doesn't call out that often, I mean, it can't be too high, but he does get people to vote with him when he calls people out. I'll give him no, actually, no, that's false. He can't get people to, like, he'll call out the right person, and then he'll die, and then people will just forget about it. He can't get people to recognize what he thinks. Probably 6. I feel like Connor's imposter is also better than his crew. That's true for most of the people in this category, I think. So smart kills. Connor kills in bad places like Ashley as well. He's slightly better than Ashley. I'll give him 5, no 6. Faking tasks. I mean, I feel like Connor also doesn't have enough game knowledge to know what tasks to fake and what not at the right times and such. So I'll give him a 6 again. His sabotages are pretty good. His venting is also not bad. I've never seen him do a terrible sabotage or vent, even when I was dead. I'll give him an 8. Persuasion. Just like Colin, he starts laughing when people start accusing him, and he knows it's over. Yeah, when he doesn't try to move the blame around, or at least get a crewmate out when confirmed ejects are off. So that's kind of a negative 6 again. Ability to clutch. His ability to clutch as imposter. He's not really in the situations, but when he is, I think he's better than Austin at clutching. For sure. Actually, no. Same as Austin and Ashley for clutching, probably. Yeah. I feel like Connor should be higher. What did I do so bad over here? Town smarts. Yeah, maybe town smarts should be 6. And no. I feel like this is fine. Yeah. Okay, that's an accurate rating for Connor. Ethan, dependability. Let's see here. Ethan's dependability. He's almost never alone, which is really, really good for the group. His tasks he does in decent time. I'll give him a 9. That's really important that you're not alone when you die. And he also dies in pretty good places too. So that's a plus to his town smarts as well. His reads, again, just like Colin, or just like Ashley and Connor, he doesn't call people out very often. He's right most of the time. I'll give him a 7. No, 6. Yeah, he doesn't call people out enough or quickly enough. Town smarts. Yeah, he dies in good places. I mean, he doesn't call emergency meetings smartly though. He doesn't use admin table camera door logs. He doesn't follow people. I'm pretty much the only person that follows people when I'm suspicious of them. I mean, maybe there are some exceptions, but I feel like I'm the one that mostly does that. Remembering callouts. He actually does remember callouts. I'll give him an 8. He's a good imposter, or he's a crewmate. Ability to clutch. He actually has thrown once or twice. So that's a 7. I mean, really? Those were like easy wins, and then he just threw them away. Do people vote with him? People do vote with him. He doesn't lead discussion. Basically, I'm pretty sure the only leaders of discussion, most of the time, it's either Austin, me, or Francisco. Sometimes it's Ben. But that's pretty much it. Or Caden. Caden can sometimes lead the discussion. Everybody else is kind of quiet until they get called out and stuff. Anyway. Ethan, I'm getting off track. Lead discussion 6. Yeah. 7.5 crew. Or 7.2 crew. Same as Ben. Yeah. No, he's not. He's a little worse than Ben. Actually, no, I should move his ability down to clutch to like a 6. Actually, he actually isn't. No. It was fine. Nope, this is fine. Smart kills. I mean, yeah, he hasn't been walked in on. 8, pretty standard. Faking tasks. He does that pretty well actually. 7. Sabotages and venting. His sabotages screw his teammate over. His venting is not bad. 7 again. Persuasion. His persuasion is really good actually. It's like, because not a lot of people suspect him, because he doesn't say anything, which hinders his crew game, but boosts his imposter game. 8. Ability to clutch, yeah, that's like, that never happens. Rare, very rare. 5. Actually, no, I don't think it's ever happened. I don't think he's ever clutched an imposter game. This is not right. No, actually, no, this is right. I think Ben should be higher than Ethan, though. Ben should be higher than Ethan for sure. I think his ability to persuade, Ben's ability to persuade should be an 8, at least tied with Ethan. That should tie with Ethan. Okay, yeah. Francisco. Francisco's dependability. He does tasks. He's alone sometimes, but that's not. He's not alone all the time. 7. His tasks aren't also like done super quickly like Ben. Reads. His reads. He calls out a lot of people. He claims he's not trying when he calls out the wrong people, but it's whatever. When he's serious, his calls are actually really good. So I'll give him an 8 for that one. Town smarts. I'm pretty sure he's like the second best one for town smarts besides me. I'm pretty sure I'm the best at town smarts just because of my immense game knowledge. Yep, that's me. Number 10 town smarts, or number 1 town smarts. So I'll give him a 9. Ability to clutch. Yeah, he's able to pinpoint the imposter in a 2v1, 3v1 situation. Probably better than the other people, so I'll give him an 8. Ability to persuade people. People do vote with him. That's very sure. That's like, he leads the discussion as well. 9. Yeah, he's definitely better than the other crewmates right now. It's imposter game. Let's see. Kills again, pretty standard 8. It's like really good. Basically, everybody will be getting an 8 in smart kills unless they can pull off some really insane plays, like locking doors and whatnot, venting in really good places so that nobody suspects you. The problem is, with everybody, they get suspected even after they kill, just because they weren't with a group and they can't get a third imposter and their kills, things like that. Anyway, faking tasks. Yeah, Francisco can fake tasks pretty well. Probably better than the others. Not as good as Austin. I'll give him a 7. His sabotages are pretty good. They're good for both imposters, actually. His venting is also pretty good. I'll give him an 8. Actually, possible 9, but 8 for now. Persuasion. He's actually able to persuade people pretty well because he's usually leading the discussion. So when he's leading the discussion, he really just doesn't allow anybody to cast suspicion upon himself. So that's pretty good. 8. His ability to clutch. No, he can't clutch. It's pretty much the same like everybody else. 5. Like, I'm pretty sure everybody's ability to clutch will be relatively low. Because for me, I don't remember there are times they clutched. I just remember myself when I clutch. So my rating will probably be higher than these. It's biased. Let's be honest. Hayden's dependability is a 0. Man's lied. He just goes off on his own and just doesn't do tasks. And another thing, he just oh my god, he lied. His persuasion is a 10. He lied in a practice game and nobody suspected him. His reads. Let's see his reads. I'm not able to make a good tier list for or rating for Hayden and Shaw because I haven't played with them for that long. But I'm pretty sure his reads are like a 2. It's pretty terrible. Town smarts 2, terrible. Ability to clutch. I don't think he's ever been in a clutch situation, so I'll put a 0. His ability to persuade. People believe him because he's new, but he lies all over the place. I'll give him 8. Smart kills 0. His kills are terrible. No, that's not true. Actually, that's not true. 5. It's not good. It's just that he kills in very obvious places when people are together. Lying and faking. No, he's not. He's like Ashley. Except Ashley has been walked in on a bunch. She kills in okay places. Faking tasks. He has no idea how to do that. 0. Sabotage and venting. Again, terrible. He's played once. He doesn't know what to do. Persuasion 10. He literally tricked us in a practice game. Really? How is that going to help anybody? Ability to clutch. I don't know, 0. Alright, so that's Hayden. Literally the worst in the group. 100% true. Dependability. He's like, I'm pretty sure he's the last one to do tasks since he's always sitting on cameras. And by sitting on cameras, he's also alone, which is really bad. I'll give him a 6. 5 actually. He is able to find people out though on cams, which is helpful. So his reads is probably a little higher. 7. Town smarts. He can't like call. He can't identify if anybody fakes tasks. He can't follow people and whatnot because he's died in good places because he's always camping cams. So that's like a 2. His ability to clutch. Another problem he has. He like when people accuse him and he's crew, he's like, oh no, he won't like make a good defense. So that's why his ability to clutch is like a 3, dude. His ability to persuade people is like a 3 too. He doesn't make any defense for himself. It's really, you're throwing the game for us. Anyway, his smart kills, he kills in good places. 7, a little worse than everybody else, but pretty good at the end. Faking tasks, he doesn't know how to. Actually, he does that decently. 7. Sabotages and venting. Sabotages are alright. Venting's alright. 6. Pretty standard. Persuasion. His persuasion is like... when he's imposter, then he starts like yelling, which kind of boosts his persuasion. That's an 8. Ability to clutch. He's like rarely in clutch scenarios, so I'll give him like a 4. Rarely in clutch scenarios. Let's see, 5.5. Yeah. If he wasn't sitting on cams the whole time, I'm sure his rating would be higher, but that's just how it goes. Samio is also very, very new at the game. He doesn't do tasks like super quickly, and he also doesn't stick with people a lot. He dies in pretty bad places. His reads, again, he hasn't played for that long. He doesn't really call out anybody, and his calls, and when he does, they're not that good. I'll give him a 3. Like if Ashley called out more people, her call outs would be a lot. Her reads would be a lot higher. If Ashley would just set her opinion more often, her everything would just be up. Town smarts. Again, he's new to the game, doesn't know what's going on too. Like Robert's on the same level as Hayden and Samio for town smarts. He's just sitting on cams doing nothing. Ability to clutch. I mean, I can't make an opinion on that since I've played with him like twice, and he hasn't been in a clutch situation. The times I've played with him, 0. Ability to persuade. He can't get people to vote with him, even if he's new. 4. Smart kills. He doesn't get walked in on the 2 times I've played with him, but it's not like he kills in good places either. Like if he's imposter, he kills in places where like people where it's heavy traffic, so the body is found really easily. 6 or 5. Faking tasks. He has no idea how to fake tasks too. Sabotage and venting. His sabotages are actually alright. I don't think he vents very often or very well. So I'll give him a 5. Persuasion. Because he's new, not a lot of people think it's him. 7. It's pretty decent. Ability to clutch. Again, I have no idea. I don't think he's ever been in a clutch situation where I played with him. 0. Samio and Shock's Shock and Hayden's ratings will be kind of null. Because will be considered null since I haven't played with them that often. Alright, so let's go on to Sarah. We're starting to get into the last 4 people. Sarah, let's see. Her dependability, she does tasks pretty often, but again, she has the same problem as Ashley. Ashley and Sarah are like very similar in the way they play. They do tasks pretty well. They do tasks pretty quickly, but they're also alone. They can't be accounted for or account for anybody. That's why Ethan has a very high accountability rating or dependability rating at 9. Reads. Again, just like Ashley, she doesn't call people out, but when she does, she's if she called more people out, she'd probably be like a 6 or 7, while Ashley would probably be like a 8 or 9. But Sarah's also wrong sometimes, so I'll give her like a 3 right now. Town smarts, same problem. New doesn't really know when to press buttons, doesn't know when to follow anybody, doesn't know when to fake tasks, remember college, things like that. 5, same as Ashley. Ability to clutch. She can't clutch. I feel like she gets, like, there's this time where she literally saw the body drop and someone else walking away from the body, and she still got gaslighted. Like, that can't happen. Her ability to persuade is like 4. and her ability to clutch is probably like a 4 too. Sarah just has to be more confident. Smart kills. Let's see. She has the same problem with Ashley. Been walking on, but not as much. 5. Faking tasks. No idea how to do that. 4. I mean, can do it sometimes, but that's only like with common tasks. Sabotage is inventing. Pretty standard. 6. No, 7. She has pretty good sabotages. Pretty good vents. Actually, I'm not sure if she does vent, but she doesn't get caught using vents. Persuasion. Again, pretty quiet. The problem is people suspect Sarah more than Ashley, so I'll give her an 8 for that. Ability to clutch, never in clutch situation. I feel like always is called out before, and she's in clutch situation, so I'll give her like a 5. Let's see here. Seb. Dependability. I think he's kind of slow on tasks, but he's also with someone when a decent amount of the time when I play with him. I'll give him an 8. Reads. I actually can't remember if he calls out a lot of people. I don't think he does, and I think he's actually wrong most of the time when he calls out people. So I'll give him a 3 for reads. I might be wrong for that one though. A 2 for reads. I might have to change that though. Town smarts. He's relatively new again, but actually kind of knows what's going on. 6. Ability to clutch. He's in clutch situations sometimes, and he usually wins. So I'll give him a 7. Ability to persuade. I mean, he can persuade when he can persuade like when he's really passionate about it, so I'll give him a 7. Smart kills, let's see. 6. Yeah, that I mean, he doesn't get walked in on as much as Sarah or Samuel and Ashley, but the problem is when he kills, people are usually accounted for with each other, making him very obvious that it was most likely him. Faking tasks and whatnot. Again, new, doesn't really know how to fake tasks very well, but better than Ashley and Sarah. 5. Sabotage is inventing. His sabotages, I feel like nobody's sabotages are terrible. They're just detrimental to their teammates sometimes. So the standard is about 6, 7. I'll give him a 6. Persuasion, ability to yeah, I mean, when people suspect it's him, he doesn't really do anything to actually. He never gets a third imposter. Doesn't do anything to redirect attention. I mean, pretty much the same problem as Robert too. Yeah. 7. Sorry, Robert's persuasion should be 7. There you go. Let's see. 6. Is he better than Robert? He is better than Robert. Yeah, Robert's crew game is just really bringing him down. His ability to clutch. I have no idea. I can't really do anything. I'll leave it blank for now. Yeah, I can't really do anything. I'll leave it blank. Because I don't remember. I mean, it's the same for Hayden and Samuel, but I'm assuming they'll just do terribly since they're new. Shock. Now, this Shock's rating will definitely be subject to change since I've played with him like once. But Shock made a good first impression on me. I don't actually remember how he was at Imposter at all, but as crewmate, he was really good, I think. His tasks were done quickly, and he wasn't alone. 9. His reads were pretty good as I remember. He didn't make a lot of them, but I'm pretty sure all of them were right, so 8. Or most of them were right. Town smart, he knows what he's doing for sure. He knows when to press button, whatnot. I'm pretty sure he does admin, and he dies in good places. 8. Shock's really good, I think. Ability to clutch. I don't actually remember when he was in a 2v1 situation or whatnot. I'll leave that one blank. Ability to persuade. He doesn't have as much persuasive power as Francisco or Austin or Ben. Or sorry, Francisco, Ben. So I'll give him like a 7. Yeah, he is about Austin's persuasive power. Yeah, again, I'm gonna leave Imposter blank. I don't really know for him. Alright, so now we're on to me. Alright, dependability. Most of the time I'm not alone. I'm pretty sure, yeah, most of the time I'm not alone. I like to follow somebody, especially when I'm sus of them. And I make it known. But the problem is, when I'm following someone, I can't really do tasks, so I'm usually one of the last people to do tasks. So I'll give myself a 6 to 7. I'll give myself a 7, since I want to make my rating really good. Okay, reads. I feel like my rating for reads will be hindered from the because of the beginning when I played in the beginning. Like I just called out anybody, but recently I don't even remember the last time I made a terrible read. Like my reads have been pretty spot on. If we're talking recently, I think my read should be like an 8. But if we're talking now, it'll probably be like a 6 or 7. I'll give myself another 7. Uh, or sorry, not now. If we're talking including the past. And actually, I think my reads, if they were like recent, should be a 9. But right now, it's probably like because of my beginning. Again, to reiterate, it's probably a 7 or 6. At my town smarts, I'm pretty sure is a 10. Like, I know when to call meetings. I know when to follow people, to clear people. I'm never a third imposter. I think, and then I call out people that are faking tasks. I mean, I it's just because game knowledge. I know what to do. Ability to clutch. Yeah, like I don't lose a 2v1. That just I know I don't lose a 2v1. 9. Actually, same for Francisco doesn't either. 9. Yeah, Francisco doesn't either. Who else doesn't? Uh, Austin doesn't. Francisco doesn't. Ethan does sometimes. Maybe Ethan should be a little lower, but I'll leave it. Austin. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Um, ability to persuade people. I do get votes, and I also lead the discussion. I'm pretty sure I'm a 9 for that category. Yeah, I'm a 9. I The problem is because of how I played in the beginning, people don't immediately follow me now. But I do provide good information. Actually, if I provide good information, Ethan should also be a little higher. 7. Um, but Ethan doesn't lead. Actually, yeah, I was right when I put him at 6. No, no, cause he explains where he was and who he was with. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Smart kills. Let's see, imposter. Um, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm standard 8. I mean, there's not really anybody super good at killing. Faking tasks. I'm definitely better at faking tasks than other people. Also, just because game knowledge, that's just how it works. I know what tasks to fake, like how long they take, whatnot. I'm pretty sure I'm a 9 for that category. Sabotages. I mean, I hope my sabotages aren't detrimental to my teammates, but I know they can be. Um, I have been caught actually a couple times. So I think like once or twice actually. So maybe I'll lower my smart kills to 7. Um, my sabotage and venting. Probably standard 8 to 7 ish. Probably 7 for now. Let's see, persuasion. Yeah, actually, I am able to get a third imposter sometimes. I also am able to pull town votes. Um, I mean, sometimes I do get caught, but most of the time I'm able to like redirect attention from myself onto someone else. I'll give myself an 8 to 9. Ability to clutch. Well, the problem is since I clutched a 3v1 yesterday on Polis when I killed Francisco and Caden, that's probably gonna cloud my mind cloud my judgment for this one. So I'm probably gonna say like 7 right now. Okay, so my overall is an 8. Shock is an 8. Why am I the highest? This is not right. I should not be the highest. Oh, my crewmate is way too high, I think. My dependability. I mean, I'm never alone, so that's good. My read's probably a 6, actually, if we're including the beginning. I mean, no, if I'm being honest, my ability to persuade is probably an 8. 7.9, tied with Francisco. Why am I tied with Francisco? Because of my ability to clutch. That's the problem. Is it's my judgment. So if we're being real, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone has clutched at least once. I just have recently. So I'll probably give myself a 6 if we're being real. I'm probably just a little worse than Francisco. Just because his town is better than mine. I feel like my imposter is better than his though. Let's see. Final results. Let's sort by town rating. Francisco, me, Shock. I feel like Shock should be on the same level. If I knew his ability to clutch, it'd probably be higher. Austin, yeah, that makes sense. Ben, Ethan. Maybe Ethan could be higher than Ben, but probably not that likely. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty accurate. Maybe King could be a little higher. I mean, Caden's rating might be clouded again just because of recently. Maybe he just hasn't been doing well recently, but yeah, that's just how I feel as of now. And now imposter rating. My imposter is better than Francisco's, I think. What parts of this aren't good? Well, I've been walked in on like once or twice, so that's why it's pretty low. Sabotages, venting, 7, yeah, that's fine. Persuasion, whatever. But anyway, Austin, yeah, that's true. Ethan, yeah, that's true. Ashley would be higher. She didn't, like, nobody suspects her, but when suspicion is cast upon her, she, like, alright, the problem with these people, no. These people, no. Okay, no, that doesn't make sense. The problem with Austin, Robert, Ashley, and Caden is that they kind of give up when suspicion is cast upon them. Oh, actually, I do remember a time when Caden was able to clutch things out as imposter. I'll give him a 6 for that. Okay. So overall rating, let's see here. Shock. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. It's clouded judgment though. Francisco, me, that makes sense. Austin, Ethan, Ben, Colin, Connor, Caden, Seb, Ashley, Sarah, Robert, Samuel, Hayden. I think Ashley and Sarah could definitely be higher if they just shared their opinion more often. But that was my tier list. Thank you for watching this 45-minute long video. Goodbye.